Good evening, children. Hi, Deepthi. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. We'll first get started with the class. I need to discuss certain things with you, which we'll do later. Okay, so now we'll not spend discussing anything. We'll get started, and then I'll tell you what my plans are. All right? Okay. So this is a new chapter, ratio and proportion.
What about that homework you gave last
No,
time?
no, that's what, darling. Please, please, yeah. So that's what I was telling. We'll discuss that later. I'll tell you. I'll tell you my plans later. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
Ma'am, should we write this?
Yeah, I'll just tell you. Yes, I'll give you time to write.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I think Deepthi is right. Start writing. Start writing. Yes, Deepthi, you're right. Please start writing.
Ma'am, I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat?
No, darling, you were right. Please start writing, I said.
Yes, ma'am.
Which one? Weight of Ravi. Weight of Raj. Weight of Ravi. Huh?
I actually wrote it wrong, Mom. I wrote Ray and Ram.
That's okay. Write the same two names, that's all. That's okay.
I'm done.
Okay, good. Got it. So as we see, comparing two or more quantities of the same kind is called ratio. All right. You'll write later. Yeah. No, you can complete later. Girls, yeah. So comparing two or more quantities of the same kind is called ratio. When we say same kind, it means comparing the weights of two people. So weight of one person to the weight of the other person, or height of one person to the height of another person, or the length of the length of say a table to the length of a door. Both are lengths. They have the same unit, right? Length of a table, maybe some 50 centimeters. Length of a door, maybe some 25 centimeters. So both have the same unit. So comparing two or more quantities of the same kind, meaning they must be of the same kind, meaning they must have the same unit. If at all they have a unit, they must have the same unit. So comparing two or more quantities of the same kind, having if the two quantities have units, then the two units must be the same. It's called a ratio. The symbol, I've written this in inverted commas, single inverted comma. See, there's an inverted comma. Okay, a single inverted comma. These are double inverted commas, right? Double inverted commas. Single this is a pair of single inverted commas, and this one double inverted commas, right? So I have written this. This is the symbol. This is the symbol. I've just written it in single inverted commas. So the symbol is not like this. The symbol is not this. The symbol is just this one. Okay. Okay. I've just put it in quotes like this. All right. Okay. So the symbol, the symbol is one used in ratios. So we use a symbol in ratios. We use this symbol in ratios. And how do you read it? So the symbol, this one used in ratios is read as, how do you read it? Is 2. Is 2. Is 2. So that also I've written it in quotes. Is 2. In quotes. Please, I'm repeating. This is not the symbol. This one is not the symbol. The symbol is just this. So the symbol, what you see here, used in ratios is read as is 2. So let's understand ratios using an example. So you can see here weight of Raj 32 kgs, weight of Ravi 40 kgs. So we are comparing the weights of Raj and Ravi. All right. So Raj's weight by Ravi's weight, or Raj's weight to TO2. You can also say 2. Raj's weight to Ravi's weight. Raj's weight to Ravi's weight is equal to what? How much does Raj weigh? 32 kgs. And how much does Ravi weigh? 40 kgs. So 32 by 40. So you can see that kilograms will get cancelled in the numerator and denominator. The same units will get cancelled. Okay, so the same units, they get cancelled. And 32 by 40, am I clear? So it will be what? 8 fours are 8 fives are. Do we understand that? Sure, all of you, Deepti? That cancelling, you understand? 32 by 40. 8 fours are 32, 8 fives are 40. Correct? Okay, so 4 by 5. So the required ratio, how do you write it in ratio? The required ratio is equal to 4:5. How do you read this? 4:5. How do you read the symbol? Is 2. So how do you read this? 4:5. The required ratio is 4:5. All right? Okay. Now, write down this. Oh, you haven't finished, right? Yes, sir. Yeah. Please complete. Finished? Satakshi? Write down. Start writing. Okay, so in a ratio, the first quantity is called the antecedent, and the second quantity is called the consequent, antecedent, consequent. Okay, antecedent, and consequent. Deepti, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, finish writing this, Deepti.
Ma'am, I already did.
Okay, fine. So in this ratio, 11:25, 11 is the antecedent and 25 is the consequent. The first term is the antecedent. The second term is the consequent. All right. So we will be in 6th standard, we'll be comparing only 2 quantities. You can compare 2 or more quantities, but for you, it is only comparing 2 quantities. All right. So in these 2 quantities, the first one is the antecedent, the second one is the consequent. All right. Yeah. Other numbers it will change, meaning when you're comparing three ratios. When you compare, no, you'll just have the names for the fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on. You can even compare 10 quantities at a time. Like supposing there are 10 friends, their weights, you can compare their weights, like 2:3:1:5:7. You can compare. So comparison is not restricted to two numbers. You can compare two, or you need two numbers at least. You cannot compare one number with itself. Like there's no use, there's no point. You need to have at least two numbers, two or more than two numbers. Right. When two ratios are equal, they are said to be in proportion. They are said to be in proportion. One minute. Right there for here. Done writing, Deepthi? Finish writing, Deepthi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So now what do we understand by proportion? The name of the chapter is ratio and proportion. Ratio and proportion. So ratio is comparing two quantities. I'll say two because your standard is only two. Okay, so comparing two quantities of the same kind is called a ratio. Comparing two quantities of the same kind is called a ratio. Then what's a proportion? When two ratios are equal, they are said to be in proportion. When two ratios are equal, they are said to be in proportion. So again, we have taken an example to understand this. Let's say marks scored by A is 20 and B is 30. So the ratio of the marks scored by A and B. You can compare the marks scored by A and B because both are marks. Okay, both are marks. So marks scored by A and B, the ratio of the marks scored by A and B is equal to 20 is to 30. 20 is to 30. 10 twos are 20, 10 threes are 30. So 2 is to 3 is the ratio in the simplest form. 2 is to, see, 20 is to 30 is a ratio. 2 is to 3 is also is a ratio. 2 is to 3 is the ratio in the simplest form. 2 is to 3 is the ratio in the simplest form. Now height of x, now another ratio. We'll take another information and we'll find the ratio out of it. So let's say height of x is 100 centimeter, height of y is 150 centimeters. So see, there is no relation between these two ratios. There's no relation between these two. Here we have compared the marks scored by A and B, which is 2 is to 3. In the second case, we are going to compare the heights of x and y. There is no connection between the first ratio and the second ratio. That is okay. That's okay. So here in the second ratio, you see we are comparing the height of x to the height of y, which is 100 is to 150. So 52s are 53s are 52s are 100, 53s are 150. Correct? 15 to 2 is 100, 15 to 3 is 150. So again, the ratio in the simplest form is 2 is to 3. So here, what did you get? The ratio in the simplest form, 2 is to 3. Here also the ratio in the simplest form is 2 is to 3. So that means 20 is to 30 is the same as 100 is to 150. That means 20 is to 30. Because you're getting the same simplified forms in both. 2 is to 3, 2 is to 3. That means the original ratios 20 is to 30 and 100 is to 150. They are the same. They are the same. Because their simplified forms are the same. But the ratios are got by comparing two different things. First one is by comparing the marks scored by two students, and the second ratio is about the heights of two people. That's okay. But the two ratios are equal because their simplified forms are s to 3. So here so again, I'll repeat this. So the simplified form of the ratio in the first case is 2 is to 3. The second case also is 2 is to 3. So since 2 is to 3 is equal to 2 is to 3, right? That means 20 is to 30 is equal to 100 is to 150. 20 is to 30 is equal to 100 is to 150. That's what I've written here. 20 is to 30 is equal to 100 is to 150. Now, because 20 is to 30 is equal to 100 is to 150, the quantities 20, 30, 100, 150 are said to be in proportion. You should not change the order of the numbers. The order of the numbers is very, very sensitive. If you change the order of the numbers, they might not be in proportion. The same order you must write 20, 30, 100, 150. You cannot arrange the numbers as you wish. Okay. So therefore, since these two ratios are equal, since 20 is to 30 is equal to 100 is to 150, then the quantities 20, 30, 100 and 150 are said to be in proportion. Now we have four numbers. So when we say proportion, there'll be four numbers. Now for you, when we say ratio, there'll be two numbers. When we say ratio, two numbers. When we say proportion, four numbers. Or when we say ratio, two quantities. When we say when we say ratio, two quantities. When we say proportion, four quantities. Correct? Ratio, two quantities. Proportion, four quantities. So a ratio to quantities, the first quantity is called the antecedent and the second quantity is called the consequent. Now in proportion, we have four quantities. The first and the fourth quantity, they're called the extremes because they're in the ends, no? First one and fourth one, like 20 and 150. They're in the borders, 20 and 150. So extremes. 30 and 100 are in the middle. So they're called the means. Means, meaning in the middle. Means. So the numbers in the borders, 20 and 150, that is the first quantity and the fourth quantity in the proportion, they're called the extremes. And the second and third quantity are called the means. Any questions, Deepthi?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so what I've written here is, therefore, the quantities 20, 30, 100 and 150 are said to be in proportion because the two ratios are equal. So the four numbers are said to be in proportion. The first ratio has two quantities. The second ratio has two quantities. The two ratios are equal. So now these four quantities are said to be in proportion. Where the first and fourth quantity are called the extremes. The second and third quantity are called the means. Yeah, right on, children.
Ma'am,
Yes.
before you wrote that product of means equals to product of extremes.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I think you're on mute. I cannot hear you.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. No, I am.
Ma'am?
Yes, no. My mic is not in mute, ma.
Yes,
You're not
ma'am, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, you wrote it before that product of means equals to product of extremes.
Okay, I'll
But
show
then,
you how. I'll show you how. I'll just show you how. 1 second. So let's take these numbers 20, 30, 100, and 150. So 20, 30, 100, and 150. So since these four numbers, so in our example here, these four numbers 20, 30, 100, and 150 are in proportion, right? So see a product of extremes. What is 20 into 150? 20 into 150, 15 twos are 30 and 1 2 zeros. And product of means 30 into 100. 3000. Yeah.
okay, I understand.
Good. This is true only when four numbers are in proportion. Simply, we can't write four numbers. Simply, you cannot write randomly some four numbers. Okay, I like these numbers. Now you cannot say, I multiplied these two numbers, I multiplied these two numbers, I'm not getting the same answer. No, not for any four numbers. If the four numbers are in proportion, how do you know that the four numbers are in proportion? So there is a ratio, there's another ratio. These two ratios are equal. There is one ratio, there is another ratio. These two ratios are equal. Then we say that the four numbers are in proportion. See, like here, we had one ratio 2:3, which we got from 20 and 30. Then we have another ratio, which is also 2:3, but which we got from 100 and 150. Which we got from 100 and 150. 2:3, 2:3 in both the cases. So that means the numbers 20, 30, 100, and 150 are in proportion. How did we come to that conclusion? Because 2:3, 2:3 in both the cases. How do we know that the two ratios are equal? Because they're simplified forms, 2:3, 2:3 in both the cases. So since the two ratios are equal, their original numbers, from where did we get the ratios? 20, 30, 100, and 150. In the same order are in proportion. Now, when these four numbers are in proportion, then if you try this, product of extremes and product of means, they'll be equal. So when you multiply, extremes are the first and fourth quantity. Means are the second and third quantity. When you multiply these two, you get 3000. When you multiply these two, you get the same answer 3000 because the four quantities are in proportion. Now, supposing like in this case, okay, in this example, so they'll ask you, the question for this will be check if 8, 10, 15, 20 are in proportion, The question will be like that. Check if 8, 10, 15, 20 are in proportion. So how will you check? You will check the product of extremes. You will write product of extremes. You will write that is equal to 8 into 20, 160. Product of means. What is the product of means? 10 into 15, 150. So you will write product of extremes is not equal to the product of means. Therefore, 8, 10, 15, and 20 are not in proportion. Is that fine, children? No, is that fine? Understood? Satakshi, Tanya, and Ovi? So how do you check? So you're given four numbers. And the question is check if the four numbers are in proportion. Check if the four numbers are in proportion. So what you will do? First, you will write product of anything you can write actually. You can write product of extremes first or product of means. Anything you can write first. So say you write product of extremes. So you will multiply the first and the fourth quantity. Then you will get the product. Next you will write product of means. And you will multiply the second and the third quantity. You will compare the products. If they're equal, the four numbers are in proportion. If they're not equal, the four numbers are not in proportion. Okay. Madam Chairman. Change the fourth one, children. Class to girls. Change D, no? Or change the D question. Sorry. Very good. Yeah. So class meaning the total strength of the class. So when we find the ratio, finish writing all of you? Done, Deepthi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Others here? Finish writing? Yeah, children. So when we find the ratio, no, the order is very important. The order is very, very important. So when you're asked to find the ratio of, see, the question is find the ratio of boys to girls. So you must write boys in the numerator and girls in the denominator. That is the number of boys in the numerator and number of girls in the denominator. Find the ratio of boys to girls, meaning the number of boys to the number of girls. See, what else can be the meaning in this situation? So we have number. So, okay, there is a class in which there are 35 boys and 20 girls. So what is the total strength of the class? 35 plus 20, 55. So we have number of boys, 35, number of girls, 20, total strength of the class, 55. Correct? Okay. Now we need to find the ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls. Boys to girls, meaning that's what I mean. Number of boys to the number of girls. So how many boys? 35 boys in the numerator and girls in the denominator. Why? Because boys to girls, boys numerator, girls denominator. Girls to boys meaning girls numerator, boys denominator. Whichever is first, that will go to the numerator. Second in the denominator. All right. That's all it is. So boys to girls meaning 35 by 20 because number of boys 35, number of girls 20. So this part you understand, all of you? Yeah. Then 20. So now ask me, what is your doubt? So here the C subdivision boys to class meaning the number of boys to the total strength of the class. Number of boys to the total strength of the class. So what is the total strength of the class? 35 plus 20. What is 35 plus 20? 55. You cannot cancel 35 and 35 like this. You should add. You cannot cancel. When it's addition, no, you cannot cancel like that. You must add 35 and 20, which is 55. All right. So 5 sevens are 5 elevens are 7 by 11 or 7 is to 11. Yeah. Now you should ask me. So D is similar. Yeah. Deepthi, any questions you can ask me? Tanya, Ovia, and Satakshi. Clear? Okay. Yes, yes. Okay. All right. So what you have to do is, you can see I've just taken the first two ratios first, 24/40 and the first one, the first fraction and the second. You can also call it a fraction. This one is a fraction, this is a fraction, this is a fraction. Because when it is numerator by denominator, it's a fraction. So 24/40 is a fraction. If you write it like this, it's a ratio. So fraction ratio, actually, they're the same but written in a different way. When you write it like this, it's a fraction 24/40. When you write 24:40, it's a ratio. Okay. So now we need to fill in the missing boxes. That is, find the numbers in the boxes. Okay. So first take the first and the second ratio. Take the first and second ratio. All right. Now look at the denominator. We have both the numbers in the denominator, right? See, which one will you look at first? Where you have more information. Where you have more information. If you look at the denominators, you have both the numbers, 5 and 40. Now, how does this 40, how will 40 become 5? Well, it's divided by 8, right? 40 divided by 8 is 5. Do the same thing in the numerator. Do the same thing in the numerator. So what is 24 divided by 8? 3. That is what is the number in the box here. All right. Next. So you've filled the number. You got the number in this box. This box you got. Now you need to find this one. So again, take any two ratios at a time. Don't write all. Any two you can take. You can take any two ratios. Now supposing you take the second and the third one, that is 3/5 and 12 by. You understand why 3/5, children? Because we got the answer now, 3. Now we know it is 3. This is 3. Now we know it is 3. So 3/5 and 12/dash. Okay. Okay. Now take that. Now, okay, sorry, I should write it like this. Leave some place here. Right, like this. Okay. Now, where do you have more information? Like in the numerator, because you have both the numbers, 3 and 12. You have both the numbers. In the denominator, you have 5 and you have to find the other one. So don't look at the denominator, look at the numerator, where you have both the numbers, 3 and 12. How does 3 become 12? 3 into 4 is 12. See, it's not that you should divide. You can multiply or divide, but it is not addition or subtraction. You cannot add or subtract. You cannot say 3 plus what is 12? 3 plus 9. You cannot write 3 plus 9 is 12. No addition, subtraction here. Only multiplication or division. You must use only multiplication or division. No addition, subtraction. Okay, remember that. So 3 into 4 is 12. So do the same thing in the denominator. 5 into 4 will be 20. Understand? That's all. So simple. Right, don't children? Or you can also do it like this. See, children, you can also do it like this. Satakshi, or you can take the first fraction, 24/40, and the last one. Correct? So now how does 24 become 12 divided by 2? So 40 divided by 2, 20. It's the same answer. So you can take anything, any fraction you can take. If a bigger number has become small, it is divided. Division, you should do some division. If a small number has become big, then it's multiplication. You should not guess. You must show the steps. You have guessed it. That's good. But you need to show the steps. Yes, Deepthi, please write down. If you have any questions, please ask me.
Ma'am, when you did the OR, like 24 divided by 2 and 40 divided by 2, we get 12/20, like 12 divided by 20, 12/20. Then after we get 12/20, how do we solve dash?
No, you don't have to simplify it. You don't have to simplify that, 12 and 20. Just leave it like that.
Yes, ma'am. After that, how do we find the dash and 5, the middle one?
No, see, we already found, no, this one is 3 and this one is 20. We already found it.
No, ma'am, when you do the OR, like OR. So after we get 12/20, how do we find 3/5? Like,
how do we?
how do we find 3 by 5? Because first it was dash by 5. So from that, how do we find 3 by 5?
No. Okay. So see, no. You cannot take, see, when you take two ratios, there should be only one missing value. If two values are missing, you cannot find anything. When you take two ratios, there should be only one value missing in it. For example,
Yes. So
yeah,
you
cannot find. Okay, so you cannot find. Now, supposing 1 minute. Now, you cannot begin your answer like this. You cannot start your answer like this. You cannot take the second ratio, which has this one. You cannot do it with this. This is what you're asking me, right?
No, I'm asking 12 by 20, and then how do we find 3 by 5?
Oh, so sorry, darling. Now I got you. If we already got, that is, if you find this one first, then how do you find this? Is it?
After we find 24 divided by 2 equals to 12 by 20.
I'm sorry. I took some time to understand your question. Okay. Now I understand. Okay. Fine. Okay. So you can also answer it like this. Okay, we'll answer it like this. Supposing we want to find the last one first. So take 24. So take 24 by 40. Deepti?
Yes.
Now you tell me what I should write, no, so that I answer your question correctly. You tell me what I should take.
Yes, ma'am. 24 divided by 2, and then below 40 divided by 2.
Divided by 2.
Equals to 12 by 20.
Okay. This understood.
And
Next,
then after we get 12 by 20, how do you find like 12 divided by what equals to 3 by 5? That way.
This one you're asking. Is it this?
No, it's completely opposite. 12 by 20 equals to dash by 5.
Okay, you want me to write it the other way, is it?
Yes, ma'am. I mean,
No, why
can
you
you
want...
solve it that way?
Okay, fine. I'll write it. Okay. You want me to write this first? You want me to write this one?
Yes, ma'am. And then
write like this, right?
So how do you solve it if it's this way?
Yeah, 20 divided by 4 is 5, right?
Yes, ma'am. Then 12 divided by 4 also equals to 3.
3.
So we can solve it this way also?
Yes. Any order. When you take two ratios, only one should be unknown. That is the criteria.
Yes,
the criteria is when you...
three ratios, 2 can be missing.
Yeah, you see, now you have 3 ratios. You take any 2, but in those 2 ratios, there will be 4 numbers. No, 3 should be known. Only 1 should be unknown. If 2 are unknown, you cannot find anything.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I clear, Deepti?
Yes, ma'am. So in those 3 ratios, only 2 is supposed to be missing.
You can take any 2 ratios. You take any 2 ratios. But for the 2 ratios which you have taken, it should have 4 quantities, of which 3 should be known to you. Only 1 should be unknown. Then you can find that one. If 2 are unknown, you cannot find.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good.
Ma'am, so here 24 by 40 equals to dash by 5 equals to 12 by dash. So here 2 can be missing, right?
You have to take 24 by 40 with something first.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I understand. Yes, I understand.
Yeah, you have to take 24 by 40 with something first. You cannot work with these two straight away.
Yes, because
you have to take this with this, or you should take this with this, or you must take this with this.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, welcome. Done, children? Sure, done writing? Finish writing, Deepti?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, Tanya, tell me this one. Can you take this and work? No, because there are two unknowns. You cannot take these two and work because there are two unknowns. Two things are not known to you. So you cannot take these two. You cannot take these two because two things are unknown. Okay, so you have to take this with this, or you can take this with this also. You understand? Only one should be unknown. Only one box should be there. If two boxes are there, you cannot find anything. Okay, so tell me which one do you want to write first, Tanya? 36 by 63 is equal to 4 by, okay. You should just extend this line like this so that you can write the operation and the number here. Yeah, tell me. How will 36 become 4? Divided by 9. Very good. Divided by 9. So, same thing. Write the same thing in the denominator. So, what is 63 divided by 9? No, darling. 63 divided by 9. 7. Very good. Very good. So, Takshi, next what will you take? No, help me to find the next one. That's all. No, tell me how. See, she found the first value, 7. Now, how will you find the second one? You should talk louder, darling. Louder. 9 by. You should not simplify this. You're simplifying this one. You should not do that. Then what should you do? You don't know. Okay. So next what you should do is you can take this fraction and this fraction. Right? 36 by 63. Extend this line is equal to by 21. Do you understand this? Now tell me, how does 63 become 21? Divided by 63, 21. Come here. Yeah, do the division and tell me. Satakshi, 63 and 21. 4 by 7, then 4 by 7 into 3. Correct. So we come here. That's what she's also doing. Anyways, you can. Very good. So you can do it both the ways. You can take 4 by 7. 7 into 3, so 4 into 3, 12. Or if you take 36 by 63 divided by 3, so 12. 63 divided by 3 is 21. No, see, it's like this. Now, when you take, okay, next one I'll tell you. I'll tell you the next one. I'll work it with you, then you will understand. I understand your question. I'll tell you. Write down this. I'll tell you.
Mom, may I go to drink water?
Yeah, please. Okay. Yes, Satakshi, tell me. Louder. Just tell me. Are you whatever you say, I'll write. 5 by 7. We'll start like this. 5 by 7. Okay. Is equal to. Is this correct? Okay. Now, look at the denominators. 7, 28. 7 divided by something will give you 28, or 7 into something will give you 28. No, 7 into what is 28? 7 into? No, 1 minute. No, it's okay. 1 minute. See here, 7 ones are 7, right? 7 twos are 14. So 7 into what will give you 28? 4. Okay, so 7 into 4 is 28, correct? Okay. Now, whatever you write here, you must write the same thing in the numerator also. Okay. Now, what is 5 into 4? That is the answer here, is equal to 20. So we found the answer here. Now we need to find this one, correct? We need to find this one. Now again, take any two ratios. Take any two ratios. You tell me, I'll write that. Supposing you can take the first one and the third one, or the second one and the third one. Okay, first one and third one. Okay. So first one is 5 by 7. And third one is 35 by. We need to find this. Now tell me. In the numerator, we have 5 and 35. 5 into dash is 35. Into 7. Into 7 is 35, right? So you must write the same thing in the denominator. Okay? Okay? Now what is 7 sevens are? Oh, darling. Sorry? Oh, you're afraid that it'll be wrong. Oh, not be scared, yeah. You should not worry about what others think. Okay, fine. Then how can I help you? You want me only to tell? I'll not ask you any question then. You'll tell me if you understood. Okay, so now I'll tell you. 7 sevens are 49. Okay, is this correct? Now we found both. You ask now, what is your doubt? No, you understood this procedure now? Okay, fine. When we say we'll take another question, you try to do that on your own. If you don't get it, you come here, I'll help you. Okay. Huh? Yeah, there are. One second, I'm just finding more questions. 1 minute, I'll just come to you.
Mom, is that 1 into 7 or 7 into 7?
Which one?
Mom, 5 into 7 is below that.
35, 7, 7 the 49.
7 7s are, yes. Mom, is that like or for this one?
No, there is, but okay, I'll tell you, yeah. I think we can explore more varieties than, trying to do this in a different way. Maybe we'll do it later.
Mom, I actually accidentally did the or one. 5 into 7 equals to 35 and 7 into 7 equals to 49.
Yeah, anyways, there's nothing like or not. You can do it anyways. Like, see, the other way of finding this is, you can take up this one, that is 20 by 28. You can take up 20 by 28 is equal to 35 by, what is this? You don't know. This is what you want to know, right? Yeah. Now, in this case, what will happen is 20 and 35. From 20, how will you get 35? No. So here you can do. So here I can tell you that other method. Now it's not. See, 35 is not a multiple of 20. 35 does not come in the tables of 20. So 20 into, see, you will get a fraction. You can write a fraction. 20 into a fraction will give you 35. But 35 is not a multiple of 20. Yeah, it will come. What do you want to write? So 20 into what you will write? 20 into what is 35? No, 35 is not a multiple of 20, no? So in 20 tables of 20, you will get 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Where will you get 35? Then the other method you can do. There's another method. So you can call this number X. You can call this number X. Okay, you can call this number X. In that case, what you should do, you should call it X. Now there's something called cross multiplying. What is it? Cross multiplying. So you should multiply this 20 into X, 20 into X is equal to 28 into 35, 28 into 35. Okay, now you should write X is equal to, write all this first, 28 into 35, write that first. And this into 20 will come to the other side as divided by 20. Into 20 from the left hand side will become divided by 20 in the right hand side. I'll do it again, you will understand. Now, simplify. 5 4s are 5 7s are 4 1s are 4 7s are 7 7s are 49. So X is equal to 14. This is that other method. Now, I think Deepthi was asking. This is the other method. I'll work it again. I'll do it again. See here.
Mom, instead of putting 20 into multiplication, because 35 won't come in 20 table. So can we like divide, or we can only multiply in this?
No, how will you get, like, see, there is a fraction. There is a 20 into a fraction will give you 35. But there is no natural number.
1.85.
That's what. So, but see, it's like unnecessarily you'll be spending time figuring out all that. So once you see, you find that it's not a multiple, then you should go do this method.
Yes.
So how does this method work? I'll work this again. I'll work the same thing again, children. I'm taking it away and doing it again. So see here. Here. So we took up this one. 20 by 28 is equal to 35 by, correct? since 35 is not a multiple of 20, 35 is not a multiple of 20. So you cannot write 20 into something is 35. We cannot write that. So we use this alternate method in which we call the unknown value as x, in which we call the unknown value as x, or you can call it y, a, b, whatever letter. Now cross multiply. How do you do that? Multiply these two numbers, 20 into x. When I'm talking, all of you should look at the board. Okay, so 20 into x is equal to sign. And then multiply these two numbers, 28 into 35. This is the first step. Understood? Now don't write this one. Write the rest of it. Don't write this. Don't write this. Okay, write the rest of it. What do you see? X is equal to 28 into 35. Write everything. Don't write this into 20. So what will happen to that into 20? It will come. What is the opposite operation of multiplication? What is division? So that 20, see, you are not writing the 20 into here. Don't write it here. It will come to the other side for division because multiplication and division are opposite operations. Multiplication and division are opposite operations. So 20 comes here. Now simplify. 5 4s are 20, 5 7s are 35, 4 1s are 4 7s are 28. So x is equal to 7 7s are 49. How 49? Because in the numerator we have 7 into 7, 49. Denominator is only 1, so you can just ignore it. If the denominator is 1, you can just let it go. Correct? So x is 49. This is the other one. Right on, children?
Done, mom.
Very good. Yeah. No. It's not another sum. Somebody's waiting outside here. Somebody's come to take you, girls? No, right? Okay. Yes, darling, both are the same. It's the same answer. It's not or. It's a continuation. It's not, I have not written or anywhere. It's a, you keep writing below. Don't write it beside like me. You keep continuing below. Done writing, children? Finish writing? Tanya? Satakshi? Finish writing? Bhavya? Satakshi is in KNMS from kindergarten, no? From kindergarten. Ajita was completely in Montfort, right? But when she came for 9th and 10th, I think she was in Montfort. Then 11th and 12th, she did in KNMS. Yeah. Okay, so what we do, no? So this is the alternate method which you were asking. I'm going to explain this. I'm not explaining. I'm going to work it now. Yeah. So children, now the first answering the first question is, how do you know that you have to do this using X and Y? Why didn't you do it using the regular method? Meaning what we did till now, like this, into 4 or divided by something, multiplied by something or divided by something. The answer to that question, I think that is the first question. No, I should answer. Deepthi, correct? Normally, what we do, we take two ratios like this and we write 19 into what is 60, correct? 19 into what is 60. All right, that's what we write first. Okay, why we didn't do that? Because we know that 60 is not a multiple of 19. See, when you look here itself, you can decide. Here itself, you can decide. See, 60 is not a multiple of 19. So how can you use that method? You cannot 19 into what is 60? Because 60 is not a multiple of 19. So you cannot use that method. Which method you cannot use? This multiplied by this method. This method you cannot use. This method you cannot use. Why? Because you can make out here itself, you can make out 19. 60 is not a multiple of 19. So you have to use this XY method only. Okay, all right. So you have to use the XY method. Okay. So what we do? We call this unknown as x. That's the first step. Understand? Now we have to cross multiply. So what do you do? 19 into x. All right? Cross multiply 19 into x. Okay? Is equal to 57 into 60 or 60 into 57. Both are the same. 57 into 60. Now what did I say? Write only this one. Write only this. X is equal to 57 into 16. Now what you did not write? Into 19 you did not write. That, see, along with x we have into 19. Along with x we have into 19. We didn't write that. So that multiplied by 19 is taken to the other side. So it becomes the opposite operation, divided by 19. It becomes divided by 19 on the other side. Correct? Now simplify. 19 ones are 19 threes are. X is equal to 180. So we found the first number. This is 120. All right. Now the second one. For the second one, again, you can use any, you can write any two ratios. Okay, you can write any two ratios. Now, supposing you want to go with, so I have taken these two, okay? I have taken the second and the third one. So 60 by 180, we found x, no? So 60 by 180, 60 by 180 is equal to y by 72, y by 72. Now you multiply like this, you multiply like this, multiply this one first. Wherever there is that x or y, no, you multiply that one first. Wherever there is that x or y which you have to find, you multiply that first. So you will have 180 into y, cross multiply 180 into y, 180 into y is equal to 60 into 72, 60 into 72. Now write this one alone. Y is equal to 60 into 72. Next one, Satakshi, 60 into 72. Complete this, 60 into 72. No, darling, what will happen to 180? Divided by 180. So 60 ones are, okay, if you don't know the tables of 60, you can cancel the zeros. You can start with cancelling the zeros. So 0 and 0 gets cancelled. Then 6 ones are 6 threes are 18, correct? Then 3 ones are 3, 24 times. So y is equal to 24. Y is equal to 24. Understood? Deepthi, any questions? Deepthi?
No, ma'am.
All right.
Ma'am, so on Monday's class only we'll be discussing the homework, right?
Yeah.
Ma'am, the homework you gave last class and the homework you gave in the for the vacation.
I'll be sharing a schedule today. That will make everything clear, all your questions clear. I'll be sharing a schedule today or tomorrow regarding how we'll be, dividing the session of 2 hours, 15 minutes. So that will answer your questions. We'll not spend time on that now. You
Yes,
completed the homework, right?
Yes, ma'am. I completed the homework you gave last class and the homework you gave in the time you didn't take class.
Very good, very good. Yeah. So this is the next question. Right on, children. Right on, children?
Can we start solving?
No, we'll do it together. Just a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
இப்பதான் மறந்துட்டேன். நான் இப்பதான் டெக்ஸ்ட் பண்ணேன். அப்படி அப்படியா? அப்படி? Oh, sorry, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Yeah, 9:30. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Yeah. All right. So now the first question is to find the ratio of Meera's present age to her father's present age. What is Meera's present age? Don't write the answer, children. I'll share it with you later. We'll just discuss the answer now. What is Meera's present age?
16 years.
16 years. And her father's present age?
44 years.
44. Simplify this. See, this order you must write. The first one, Meera's percentage in the numerator, her father's percentage in the denominator. Correct? Yeah, simplify. In the tables of 4. 4 how many times? 4 4s are 4, 11s are. So the required ratio is 4:11 for the first one. Correct? Deepti?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the second one. The ratio of Meera's father's age to Meera's age when Meera will be 20 years old. When will Meera be 20 years old? In 4 years' time. In 4 years' time, she'll become 20 years old. Then what will be her father's age in 4 years? 48. When Meera is 20 years old, her father will be 48 years old. Correct? Now, which order should you write? Which one should you see? The ages are 20 and 48. This is Meera's age. And this is Meera's father's age. But which one to write first?
First will be Meera's father's age.
Yeah, we need to write Meera's father's age first and then Meera's age. So it will be 48 by, the second one is 48 by 20, correct? 48 by 20. Simplify that. Again, the tables of 4. 4 5s are 4, 12 times. So 12:5 is the required ratio. All right. Next. The ratio of Meera's father's age to Meera's age 15 years later. 15 years later. So what should you write in the numerator? Meera's father's age in the numerator. So it will be 44 plus 15, no? 15 years later, present age plus 15. Now he is 44. After 15 years, he'll be 44 plus 15. So how old will he be? 59. 59. That will be in the numerator. Divided by Meera's age. 16 plus 15. 16 plus 15. 31. 31. Correct? Now this cannot be simplified further because the two numbers will not happen in any common tables. 31 and 59. 31 is also a prime number. These two numbers. So now this is the simplest form then. This is the simplest form. The required ratio is 59 is to 31. The required ratio is 59 is to 31 itself because it cannot be simplified further. Correct? Okay. And the last one, the ratio of Meera's age to Meera's father's age when the father will be 60 years old. First you must write Meera's age, then Meera's father's age when the father is 60 years old. Then what will be Meera's age? When the father is 60 years old, what will be Meera's age? 32 because, yeah, Deepti?
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Now will be 32, no?
32.
The father will be 60.
Correct. When because the father is now 44 years old. When will he be 60 years old? In 16 years time. In 16 years time, he'll become 60 years. So what will be Meera's age in 16 years? 16 plus 16, 32. Correct? 32. So which one to write first? Meera's age first and then Meera's father's age because that is the order here. So 32 by 60. For D, it will be 32 by 60. Tables of what? 4? 4 8 are 32, 4, 15 are 60. So 8 by 15 or 8 is to 15. All right. Understood the answer? Yeah. So the presentation I'll share with you, or maybe we'll do it in the next class. You can just make a note of this somewhere. If you have a pencil, just make a note of the answers. If you want to revise Saturday, Sunday, you want to revise, no, next page itself you can write. Make a note of the answers.
Done, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I actually also wrote like the words instead of only the answer. I also wrote the entire answer. Like Meera's age equals to 32. Meera's father's age when he's 60
Correct.
years old equals to 60 years.
That's all. Yeah. Right. You're right. Yeah. All right. Done writing, children? All right, children. So that's it for today's session. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, any homework?
Deepti?
Yes, ma'am.
No, you asked me something.
Ma'am, is there any homework?
Yeah, I'll share on WhatsApp. Yes, it's ready. You can see it in this presentation. I have it here already. Yeah, see, it's here. I'll share it later.
Ma'am, we're supposed to finish it by coming class, right?
Come again?
Ma'am, we're supposed to finish this homework by Monday, right?
See, I have not planned anything. The homework is ready, but I have not planned anything. So I'll go home and I'll, put down my thoughts in the message on WhatsApp. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. All right, Deepti, that's it for today's session. Thank you. You may leave the call.
Yes, ma'am. Bye, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye.